Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast, and we've got play of props on a fun Tuesday night in the in-season tournament, Adam Silver's tournament here, which Nate has fondly dubbed the Silver Cup. I would agree that's a better moniker here than in-season tournament, but it's been fun, man. Like, say what you want. I'm having a good time watching it with the fun courts and the huzzah. I'll be at the Warriors game tonight, so we'll get into some of these player props here. We had a great night last night, Nate, 4-1 with these player props. Huerter came through for us. Evan Mobley came through at the end for us as well. Jay Randall was on fire. Hopefully you laddered that up to 20 or even 25, like I said. And then we also had the Scotty Barnes pick that barely failed because the Raptors had to come all the way back to beat the Wizards. That was just an odd one. We also said Siakam was the play in that one, man. And our boy went clean off for a near triple-double with 39 points. So we stride on here on the season, 36 and 32, 7.6 units up on the player prop specifically. On the best bets, pretty much the same stuff here. So on the season, we are 14.75 with the units that we have made. Hopefully you are continuing to follow along, like and subscribe to that page. Also check out the best bets that we have up for Tuesday's slate. Also head to thelines.com. Check out the odds finder tool up there. It's a really solid tool that Nate and I use to find the best odds available for all these props in the NBA. So Nate, let's go ahead and run right into your first NBA player prop. We're both talking about the T-Wolves in a rematch here against the Dubs.
Yeah, something wrong with the Warriors here, so I don't mind trying to keep riding Anthony Edwards, the hot hand, for 32.5 points and assists combined. That gets you better juice than the 26.5 points. So it's minus 104 at FanDuel, found with that odds finder tool you mentioned. And he's coming off a 33-point game where he took 27 shots against these Warriors, 41% usage. The usage rate is just so dependable. And I mean, while he took 9 threes in that game, like this season, he's not been shooting well from three. He's still been getting bucket upon bucket because nobody can keep him in front. Nobody can stop him at the rim. And right now, Draymond and Andrew Wiggins are struggling along with the rest of that Warriors D, right? 118 defensive rating their last 6, allowing the 5th highest field goal percentage, 3rd most free throws, fewer 3-point attempts as they try to funnel towards the rim, but they're just not stopping guys like Ant, who I actually like him on the road here. Like normally you'd be worried Warriors in-season tournament atmosphere, like the building's going to be rocking. I think he's a guy with bottomless confidence who's not going to mind that type of atmosphere, right? I mean, and he will put this Wolves offense on his back, which he has to, because look at the other usage rates here. Mike Conley, 13%, Jaden McDaniels, 14%, Rudy, 16%, and Cat, while he's 26% on the season, only 19% against the Warriors last time out because he has had his struggles scoring against Draymond and company. And really, I mean, if Clay is your primary defender on Ant, that's just not going to work at his stage in his career. And Wiggins has just, for one reason or another, not really picked it up yet this year.
Yeah, Wiggins is maybe their main issue on offense. Clay's regression might finally be here. Draymond's regression has been coming and is here. It's really sad sometimes to watch. It's like uncomfortable to watch the like old bull who's still like talking crap, trying to act like he's the same dude that he used to be, but he can't back it up quite the same because Ant is probably as strong as him at this point and also much quicker, as we well know, much more athletic, springy. I can't get a total feel on whether or not this game is just going to be an ugly, choppy affair after they just saw each other. And I feel like the Dubs, let me put it this way. I feel like the Dubs know that they can't allow Ant in space wherever he is at any point. They can't allow it to be a one-on-one matchup. At the same time, with the way that Steph has been carrying this team, I don't think they want that. I think they want a lot more pace and space, and I know they don't, and a lot less Steph 35% usage running like 22 pick and rolls a game, et cetera. Like they don't want that, right? And 22 is dramatic, but you get my point. So I do think there's an opportunity for points here because of the fact that Steve Kerr prefers to probably move the ball much more quickly, including in transition against a really good half-court defense right now that's definitely figured some stuff out. I think all of that just adds to Ant having the ability to score a bit more. And I don't, even if they devise a game plan for stopping him, with Wiggs in the funk that he is, and nobody else with the ability to really stay in front of Ant Edwards, I don't know why you wouldn't feel comfortable that even if he's not able to get all the way to the rim because they collapse 3 dudes on him, he dimes it up. But
And you
I'm
you
gonna
bring
go
up a
with
good point that
yeah, good.
Steph is just absolutely carrying with the same kind of usage rate on the Warriors. I would look at some same game parlays just for those two guys, even if it's a choppy game, for those two guys to be around 30 points, maybe 25 plus each, and see what kind of odds you get there.
See what you get because Steph's at like 30.5, and my initial lean is like they can't like he was questionable for this game. I do think he plays. Whether or not he gets a call, Steve Kerr gets a call from Adam Silver or not, I don't know. But I don't think that Steph's allowed to sit in this in-season tournament. I'm pretty sure that's a law that has been internalized. And as a result, like I think though it's indicative that like they don't want him to be doing what he's doing. They would rather even have him sit a random Tuesday night game for them, even though it's the in-season tournament, to keep him healthy. So just be a little bit aware that he might not be used quite as much if they can afford to not use him that much, which they might not have a choice because there's nothing else right now. But I'll go into my bet that plays a little bit more into a choppy game. But I have some stuff that I found that I like for Karl Anthony Towns to go over 8.5 rebounds. And he just did this. He just had 13 against them in the last game. And there's something I'm looking at here where Rudy's boxing out and Cat is the beneficiary who gets the rebounds. And the numbers that I'm looking at here are Rudy has the most rebound chances in the league at 22 a game, but he has just a 57% rebound rate on those chances. He's got 12.8 rebounds a game. So because he has so many chances, still getting almost 13 boards a game. Cat has 14.5 rebound chances a game, much less, 8 less opportunities, yet he's in the 8th best rebound percentage when he's got the rebound chance. What that tells me is Rudy is boxing out and Cat is getting the boards. It's really that simple. And you continue to see it with the way that like Rudy is always in a spot under the rim available to get the rebound because that's also where he lives. But at the same time, he is boxing out to a degree that like it's better for Cat at that point. It's something that I think plays into why Cat had 18 rebound chances last game and 13 boards versus Rudy's 19 rebound chances and 10 boards. And that just continues to play out game after game with that correlation. Golden State, it's a perfect opportunity for that. Like Kevon Looney, far and away the best rebounder on this team, who will be doing everything he can to box out a dude that he's giving up like roughly 4 to 5 inches to in Rudy Gobert. And then at that point, you've got Cat, who's just much bigger, and obviously we know much more athletic and much younger at this point than Draymond in a way that he's always caused problems for Draymond. And big power forwards have done that at this point. The Dubs are giving up the second most rebounds per game to power forwards, also in the bottom 10 in terms of points allowed as well. So it's just another opportunity for Cat to eat around the rim. I do think he's probably good for the 21 and a half-ish points, but that was right around even money. It's probably about right where I have his points for this one is between like 20 to 23. So not enough discrepancy to take it on the points, but the 8.5 boards, I would still expect him to get double-digit rebounds pretty solidly in this one.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, yeah, you said you don't know if to expect a choppy game, but the sharp money is telling us that we do expect an under here, right? I think it's already moved 4 points in some places, down below 220. So fewer points, more of a half-court game, more rebounding opportunities, and
the only thing I would say real quick, Nate, of that, and it's not something you can totally rely on, but the hesitancy that I have to put unders on in-season tournament games is that coaches and players are going to score as much as they can down the stretch. You're going to see guys fouling down 7 points, maybe to try to like cop back a 3 on the next, you know what I mean? Like there's never going to be a moment where the team down by double or triple, you know what I mean? Like multiple scores is just going to give up, right? So that's my hesitancy there.
Yeah, but the Wolves have been the best defense in the league thus far. So definitely reasons to like an under there. But let's get into some bets that actually I think we might be more confident in, even though they are far from bigger names. Jalen Suggs, 20 points, rebounds, and assists here with the Magic at Brooklyn. And Markelle Fultz ruled out. You saw Suggs ramping up, getting his confidence. He played 31 minutes and was a defensive maven in that Mexico City game with the Hawks, 6 steals. And then the next game, he gets 38 minutes with Fultz out, which is the exact same as Franz and Paolo, the Magic's bread and butter, if you will. So I'm trusting him to get plenty of time here, and I think the peripherals will come. 38 minutes, he scored 20 points, only 2-2 along with that. This is a guy, a very athletic body, playing off guard, 6'4", 205, average 10 rebounds and assists at Gonzaga in a shorter game, of course. And the Nets, it's a good matchup for him to kind of get some boards because that offense is going to be yick again with no Cam Thomas, maybe no Lonnie Walker as well. Ben Simmons, we know, is out, so that hurts their defense. They are allowing the 6th most rebounds overall in their last 3, allowing the 5th highest assist to turnover ratio at home, which, at home since the middle of last season when they reshaped their team, offensive rating is 6 points worse in the sleepy Barclays Center, as I like to say. It's just like there is no home court advantage. It's just like, exactly. And they've allowed the 3rd most rebounds overall since last season, 2nd most rebounds and assists to shooting guards. So I like Suggs to ramp up with things other than just scoring, but he's also kind of found his shot lately, and I like him to continue to attack.
Yeah, I mean, they might be down to a lot of Anthony Black in this one, which means like he's definitely going to be a look first point guard, and if Jalen Suggs is out there, it's probably plenty of him on the ball just as often right now. Man, there were some really good picks that they could have made at 6 instead of Anthony Black. We'll see how he turns out. But I was looking at Suggs as well. He's got 1.5 threes as his prop line. What do you think of that? Because it's plus 120. He's taken 4, 5, and 6 threes respectively in his last 3. Is that a look? I mean, Brooklyn's pretty good on the wing, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, that is where you've seen the confidence suddenly take off for Suggs. Is like clearly the discussion is like, are you going to stick in this league? You're going to have to really work on that jumper. I haven't seen anything specifically, but I'm going to assume he spent a lot of offseason working on that 3-point shot.
Yeah, it's about the attempts for me. If you think with this lineup, and we just saw him take, like I said, 5 and 6 without faults against pretty bad perimeter teams, though, in the Bucks right now as well. But it's a bet to look at because of the plus 120. I think it might be worth a look if he's going to be pulling that much, especially if Gary Harris doesn't play. He's questionable, but not likely to play. So I'm going with a similar bet. I do want to be clear. I'm very confident in that Karl Anthony Towns bet and slightly more than this Reggie Jackson one. But I'm still going with probably a full unit here for RJax. Not probably, I did. It's with and without Murray, and it's playing like the only thing is like Russ goes off and is like, I'm shutting this dude specifically down. And even in that moment, I'm like, well, that's fine. He has a giant Serbian to run around and stand in your way when you're trying to chase him. So I'm fine with that. It's Murray out, right? And like maybe that's why the spread sticks around 4.5, 5.5 points for the Nuggets instead of moving upwards like we thought it would. I guess some sharps think that this is the game where the Clips figure it out. I don't, especially on defense. I don't think that they have the opportunity to really stop Reggie Jackson when he's running that pick and roll with Jokic. In the 3 games without Murray this season, he's at 28.5 minutes per game. 14 points per game and 2.5 boards, 4 assists, right? So he's getting over the 18.5 PRA that we've got here. And he's done that really comfortably in his last 2 that Murray has missed, which were the last 2 games. 24 points, rebounds, and assists in those 2, 30 minutes a game, 17 points per game as well, which, it almost gets you there. And it's really a lot of he and Jokic on offense he's really just replacing Murray in every single way, except for not being as good as him. But as far as the role goes, he's on there to pick and roll with Jokic in both ways, like run around the screens and take the handoff to create space for Jokic, or be the ball handler to then find Jokic in space, either down low or if he pops out at the 3-point line where he's almost as dangerous. When they're on the floor together in the last 2, which was 47 minutes together, the team has a plus 13.3 net rating. They have a 65% assist percentage on their buckets made, which is right around what they shoot on the season. But specifically in that 2-man lineup of those 2, it's a little bit higher on average than the rest of the team. So because he's the main pick and roll ball handler, like he's going to have such a high usage with the 30 minutes. The 19 points, rebounds, and assists feels like a great bet against a team that has just needs a lot. It's like Ty Lue said, and you said it a couple times, it's going to need a couple more games to figure this whole thing out.
And as I mentioned in best bets, with Harden and Westbrook on the floor right now, they are a 129 defensive rating. So Russ, his energy might be there. He's got his backcourt partner just dragging it down. Harden, it basically looks like a lost puppy on defense when he's out there because he doesn't have his offensive game going. He has nothing, no kind of juice on that end. So I think that is why, you plug in Reggie Jackson, you plug in whatever guard around Jokic and Gordon, who just are great facilitating bigs, and they should be able to get buckets early and often. That's why, I agree with you, obviously, that the Nuggets should add to the Clippers' woes here.
Absolutely. So, I think we've got at least a 3-in-1 night on us here in the player props. Might have a sweep. We'll look to stay hot. We had a nice 15-2 run last week, and we'll be staying close to that. So that's all the time we have for you, though. Continue to follow along. Also have the best bets up for you today, and we'll continue to bring those each and every weekday. So until we do see you next, happy betting.